Did you miss this year's Black Friday sale? Didn't get those new patches and IRs from Worship Tutorials, Tone Junkie, and Tone Factor? I'm wagering that you already have a library of presets sitting in your folders, most of them unused. Let's breathe some new life into them with one simple trick so that you maximize the value of what you've already purchased. Before I made my own presets, I was heavily reliant on Worship Tutorials and their offerings. Buying presets was a way of peeking behind the curtain as to what goes on in the mind of a tweaker, and I learned a lot from playing with WT patches. There's one thing that bugged me though, and see if you can spot it. I couldn't get the patch to gain out as much as they could. WT presets on my guitars always sounded tamer than their recordings, with the drive snapshot virtually doing nothing. The difference in gain always felt more like a clean to edge of breakup rather than edge of breakup to overdrive. According to WT's README guides, they recommend setting the drive on the amp side to compensate for any less than ideal input gain staging. But with dual amp setups like the Archigator and Fried Z, fiddling with the amp gain on one disrupts the balance with the other amp, and I want to avoid that going back and forth rebalancing the amps. You could also fiddle with the gain levels on the drive section, which will push the amps harder, but that means when the pedals are off, the clean tone is going to be significantly different from the overdriven tone. WT presets seem to go for that gradual change in gain from edge of breakup to lead, so that's a dead-end solution. Over time, I learned to live with the cleaner sounding patches, accepting the fact that I was not going to sound like the WT guys. That is, until I discovered that I could reach the same kind of sound, and I stumbled upon it when using their patches on a different device, my laptop on Helix Native. For those of you who don't know, Helix Native is the plug-in version of the Helix hardware units, the same modeling tech but without hardware. Instead, Helix Native relies on your audio interface to process the input and a digital audio workstation to host the plugin and process the output. Here are the exact same patches loaded up on my Helix Native setlist, the Archigator and the Fried Z. That's significantly closer to the WT sound, isn't it? The difference lies in the amount of input gain being fed into the system. If I turn down my input gain on Helix Native, here's what we get. And that's closer to my sound on the Helix, where I'm finding much less differences between the clean and drive snapshots. How are Brian and Bradford getting up the signal into the Helix? If you have any ideas, drop a comment. Better yet, Brian and Bradford, how are you guys doing it? Let me know, man. Turning up the input gain on Helix Native is simple enough, since the gain is determined by the audio interface. How are we going to do this on the Helix hardware unit, or any other units for that matter? The solution lies in what's upstream from the drive section, the compressor. All WT patches have compressors on them, with the compressor gain being a pure volume boost, so there shouldn't be any tonal coloration. Let's try adding a few dB of gain in these presets. Now that's giving these old patches a new lease of life. The fun doesn't stop there. Even on WT's newer patches, like with their tone match presets, you can get a different shade of tone with the same trick. Here's the Great Cell TM patch, which was free for a time, so I snagged it, but I never really used it because it sounded weak on my guitars. Check out how it sounds now. I hope I managed to inspire you to look back at your past preset purchases, dig through those folders, and try them out again using this trick. If you found value in that, I appreciate you hitting that like button. Thank you. Do try this out, and let me know in the comments if it worked for you, and if it didn't, why not? I'd love to hear you out. Input gain staging isn't the only trick in the book. I have an entire video that explains my tweaking process from start to finish, and I've used the Helix Stomp as my example device. Do check that out to learn more tips and tricks to get a Sunday service ready sound. I'll see you there.